are certain times as a reseller when I'm trying to ship something large or heavy or just getting frustrated that I think, do I need to be doing something different? Like, do I need a booth again? Hey everybody, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Eva and I am a vintage reseller. Right now I am just selling on the Etsy marketplace, but I have sold in the past on eBay and Mercari, and I started out this entire journey by having a booth. That was the very first thing that I tried when I started buying things and picking up things for resale. I had a booth with a friend of mine, so we split the cost of the booth rental, and it was called Vintage Friends and Finds, and that is how this whole journey started, which then led to selling online on different platforms, now landing 6 years later just on Etsy. However, every year I start to think about, is it time to get a booth again? So I would love to get your advice today on if you think having a booth is worth it if you are a reseller. Now, so let's start with the pros. What is tempting me? Number one, no more shipping heavy or fragile items. I don't mind shipping. I've gotten really good at shipping breakables. But sometimes I might have a furniture piece or something that I just don't want to deal with shipping it. And it would be so easy to put it in a booth. Holiday time. Holiday time is perfect for shoppers, especially shoppers of vintage. They like to feel nostalgic. They want to touch things and feel it and see it in person. And also, if you yourself are a creative person, having a booth gives you a creative outlet where you can decorate the booth yourself. And I think the holiday times is one of my number one reasons that always makes me want a booth again, because I even like shopping in the booths at holiday time. Another pro, local exposure. Sometimes your booth can actually lead people to your online shopping. That's why if you have a booth, you always leave like a little business card or something out so that people can find you, and they will. More exposure is more sales. That's always a pro. Those are just a few of the pros that are always kind of circling in my mind. But now let's talk about a few of the cons. Monthly rent. It can add up, and usually those owners of those malls are going to take a commission as well. So you would really need to add all of those fees up to see what you're going to have to pay monthly. Not that you don't incur fees when you sell online, because you do, but sometimes I look at those to see, do they equal out? Is my booth rental and those fees and commissions that they're taking less or more than what is being taken out from the platforms that I am currently selling on? Another thing that can be a con is you do have to restock it, you have to tag it, you have to keep up with it. If you are a responsible booth owner, you do have to spend a little bit of time really curating your booth, making sure that things aren't getting messed up. You know, after a big weekend, you may have to go back in and set things up and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. You're also going to have to take things there. So there's a travel thing of how close is your booth to where you live. I think about that a lot. My first booth was 45 minutes from my house. It was not very easy for me to go every day to take it. I also was working a full-time job at the time outside of the house. So you really need to think about how many hours do you have that you can give to your booth. And kind of with that little piece, there also is problems with people breaking things, and then you lose money because people have gone through and accidentally broke something and didn't tell anyone. Or you can also have a problem with shoplifting. Those are things that do happen, and sometimes you have to eat the cost of those. That time management comes into play with your online as well. If you are going to try to multitask it like I am considering, I have to take into account that all of the time that I spend on my booth is now less time that I am listing, photographing, and curating things for my own online store. So I have to find a balance in that for it to make sense. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out the time and the money and effort that's involved, if that equals out the joy of having a booth. Because I think in my case, it is more of a creative outlet that maybe I'm looking for. And there is something special about having a physical booth and being able to put things in it and decorate in it. There are certain items that probably do better in a physical booth, and then there are certain items that do better online. I think where you're at in your life is going to help as well. Where I'm at in my life, I do like to work from home. I can get a lot done. I am very productive. If I do have to get ready and leave the house to go to a booth, I need to think about, am I going to want to do that? And is it just this holiday season that always makes me be nostalgic and want to have like a pretty booth and be able to get in on those Christmas shoppers and all the joy of that? I really am interested, and I want to hear from you guys. What is your experience with having a booth? Do you have a booth? Have you had one in the past? Have you given one up? And why did you decide to give it up? I want to hear some more pros and cons from you that I haven't mentioned, or you can elaborate on some of the ones that I've mentioned. Are you trying to multitask? Do you sell online and a booth? I would love to hear what your experience is. But since I am still selling online and my sales are up right now because we are rolling into the holiday season, I do want to share with you a haul from my weekend shopping trip because I did get a lot of great items. And honestly, some of these items would look really great in a booth, but for now, I am just going to sell them online. So let's go check those out. Love it. The first thing I bought is just a single plate. This is a Spode plate, which is very desirable. It's the bone china from England. And the reason why this one's popular is because this design, Maritime Rose, is very popular. Not just because of the beautiful rose, but this beautiful periwinkle color that's all around the plate. Now, I do pick up single plates or single cups or mugs because they are great for replacement items if someone has the set and they have broke something. So don't think that you can't just pick up one plate or one glass. Now, if it's just something plain or I don't think it's desirable, I probably wouldn't pick it up. But this is beautiful. If it doesn't sell, I also will use this myself because you guys know how I am about pink or purple or anything that's girly like this. I'll pull this out one day when I'm feeling depressed and I'll put a piece of pie on this and I'll sit down and eat it and I'll feel fancy just like the queen in no time. So that's my tip for you. If you don't feel good, get out some fancy dinnerware and have a piece of pie or maybe some cheese on here, cheese and crackers. Then in one of my other videos, I picked up this exact cake plate. I think it was in the video where I was talking about transitioning things from fall to Christmas or using things for fall decor. And the last cake plate I got like this, I paid $7 for, resold it for like 40 something dollars, which is a great profit. This one also was marked $7. There were two on the shelf, so I grabbed it. However, I didn't look at it very well. What I did was once over. I don't know if you do this, but if you buy something glass, I always run my fingers over it like this on the edges because you can usually feel right away if there's a nick in it. So I basically did that, did my once over, and brought it home. When I got home, I realized when I was looking through there, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell, maybe not on that side, maybe not even on camera, there's a lot of glue residue on this, which means this has been repaired. So I probably will not sell this because it does have such a large repair, which means this whole piece probably had come separated at some point. So I probably will just use this for myself, which it was only $7, but it is really pretty. I'll link that video at the end of this one if you're interested in watching. But this thing is really pretty with some twinkle lights for fall and putting some flowers, a floral wreath, or maybe even like a faux pumpkin on this. Very, very pretty. I got this beautiful milk glass compote or pedestal vase. I don't normally pick up milk glass. Milk glass goes through its phases of popularity. Sometimes people are just not buying it, and you can find it everywhere and it's cheap. Sometimes people are looking for it, so I will pick it up if I find a good piece at a good price. This one I think had a few scratches in it and a few scratches inside, if you can see right there, but I do still think that it's a pretty shape, and because I got it at a great price point, I did go ahead and get it. This is not Westmoreland glass. This is the E.O. Brody Cleveland, Ohio company. So you'll see that on a lot of the milk glass pieces like this. I don't know if these are vintage, but I did pick up these seahorses because I think they're so cute. And I love the colors, the whole orange and blue. They didn't have any markings on them. I'm sure they're not very vintage, although they could be. But I just thought they were really cute, and we're just going to give them a try and see how this works. I did pick up this sweet little piece of amber glass. This was marked a toothpick holder, but this is a little bit bigger than the traditional size of toothpick holders that they usually had. So I do think it's maybe like a tiny little vase. It would be great for like sugar packets or a little bit of a floral arrangement in there, or you could put toothpicks in there, but I just like this little size. I think it's perfect for a little kitchen table. I did have quite a bit of amber glass. I got this sweet little pitcher. Now, this isn't worth a lot either. This is this swirl design on the bottom, and then this is like that bar and ball design. Now, it has a name, but this is just a little pressed glass pitcher. And what I think this is perfect is a creamer, of course, but wouldn't this be sweet with some syrup in it? Like put some maple syrup in there, some heated up maple syrup, and then, you know, get ready for your pancakes on your fancy spode plate. These don't really match each other that well, but wouldn't that be cute? I just think it's adorable. Also, I think you could put flowers in it. There's so many things you could do with this. I just think it's really pretty. And this is one of those things where I have actually found a new appreciation for amber glass. It used to be my least favorite glass. I just thought it was kind of dull and boring. I was like, I like the pink stuff and the purple and the blues. Something about amber glass reminds me of my grandparents and like my mom and just being at their house. Something about it is very warm and cozy and very comforting. And so now I can kind of see why it had its resurgence of popularity, because it does have a new group of people growing up that do like the amber glass. I've picked up this little soap dish. Soap dishes do really well for me, depending on what they look like. I don't know if this will be popular. Anytime it's like that gold burnished finish, it's got like a little bit of patina on there. Really pretty glass that sits in there. I just think this would be really pretty with a little sponge on it or some little soaps for a bathroom. Then I found these two really pretty perfume bottles. They're just so pretty. They are like a light blue color. And this has like the gold gilded, and then the little dauber is porcelain. But I really like these. They were in good condition. Then I got this beautiful dish, this little like relish dish. These always catch my eye because of the colors. And then I have to remind myself that for me personally, these have never done well for me, and I don't know why. It has this little mark on the back. You would think that it would be highly desirable. There are a lot of them online, and I've noticed that not a lot of them sell. And if they do, they sell for very cheap. I don't know if this is something that maybe will find a resurgence. You'll have to let me know. Do you find things like this sell for you? More now selling for me, or more of like the earthy brass items, more substantial pieces, not the frilly stuff. So not very vintage, but these usually sell pretty well for me. And also it's a flamingo, and flamingos do well. These are vintage, antique. They have the gold hanger on them. They're made of wood. But what I really like is they have like this area down here. I don't know if this is like jade or some type of stone. I'll have to look it up and see. It's like a 3D design, and they are just really, really cool. These are just really neat. I am very interested to see how they do, because I do think this would be really pretty in somebody's decor. I can't resist this sweet little brooch. It has the acrylic front and a gold back, like a sea life with the fish and everything. And I just thought that was so cute. And then I almost forgot to show you, we did get this. It is Fenton. This is like a little Fenton cup here, flower cup, and it sits in this little stand. I did Google Lens it, and it does show that there were some Fenton glass that came with like a metal stand. I don't think this is brass, but it is metal, and it has like this little copper finish on it. It has that beautiful finish. It's so pretty. We did pay a little bit more than we would normally pay. It was a little bit more expensive than the other items in there, but honestly not what I would see on this in an antique store. In an antique store, it would have been marked way higher than what they had it marked. It's one of those things where if it doesn't sell right away, it's not like your feelings are gonna get hurt that it has to sit around the house for a while and look pretty. Now, Most of this stuff that I show you will be listed in my Etsy shop, and I will always link that below for you if you're looking for an item or you just want to get a better look at it. It will be linked below. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You are my Pink Truck pals. That's my thought process. Booth or no booth, I will tell you right now, I'm leaning towards something right in the middle. I do have a place that's near us that offers a special event each month where you can just rent for one weekend out of the month. And so it's a little less commitment than having a booth there full time. That's another thing that I could possibly look into. I also really need to just mull this over and realize that I might just be getting anxious for the holiday season. I really do love to hear from you. So please comment below and let us know your experiences and opinions on this topic and how you're doing if you have a booth now or if you're thinking about getting one as well. Thank you so much if you have subscribed. If you haven't, would love it if you would do so on your way out. And I will see you all very soon in the next video.